I've recently made a couple of videos about the cyber attack on Change Healthcare, but one of my colleagues, Dr. Suhail Ahmed, wrote something that I thought put things very eloquently, and I wanted to share that with you. The clearinghouse crash of 24. That's what we'll call it years from now upon reflection of these turbulent times. I wanted to consolidate my thoughts together in one informational explanation post so that people who are curious about Change Healthcare getting hacked can have a better understanding of the reality at hand. Any provider that uses a billing software that has Change Healthcare integrated in their system as the main clearinghouse can't get claims to insurance companies once they medically bill for something or services in their software. Change Healthcare is the bridge. The claim goes from the provider over the bridge to the insurance company. Then once the claim and payment processes, it comes back over the bridge and dumps into the software. The bridge has been blown up. Aside from not being able to get stuff over, there's a lot of money and explanation of payment/benefits that aren't coming into the billing software from previous cutoff or adjudication cycles. Without the bridge, providers are scrambling to make their own bridges, called workarounds. Depending on what branch of healthcare, these generally are extremely time-consuming, and there aren't enough meticulous manpower to keep up with everything. Meantime, money is being pumped out for cost of overhead, without money coming in to meet profit margins. This can ultimately lead to the provider closing its doors. That means hospitals aren't getting paid for office visits, labs, radiological services, surgeries, literally everything they are capable of doing. Physical therapists aren't getting paid for therapy. Optometrists can't get paid for eye visits or glasses or lenses. DME, durable medical equipment, can't get paid for oxygen, wound care, beds, wheelchairs, power wheelchairs. The list goes on and on. In addition to this, Change Healthcare spent years acquiring and consolidating smaller clearinghouses and other administrative entities, such as Relay Health, meaning that this one company now has its tentacles in a staggering amount of transactions throughout the healthcare industry. Change itself is now owned by Optum/United Health Group, which has in turn been consolidating even more aggressively through essentially simultaneously vertical and horizontal integration. There are other clearinghouse vendors that perform the same functions, but many provider-facing software systems lock themselves into integration partnerships with a single clearinghouse, leaving very few options when that single bridge gets blown up. And even if the provider uses a different clearinghouse, as stated above, change may be involved somewhere else down the chain that the provider is not even aware of. I'm going to digress for a second. I use a different clearinghouse, and yet I was just made aware that almost 60 claims that were sent to Horizon Blue Cross cannot be paid because Horizon somehow uses Change Healthcare. Back to what he said. The automated functions that the clearinghouse performs have replaced a lot of transaction-based human labor in the industry over the last 15 to 20 years. So when the automations break, there is no redundancy or surge capacity on either side of the bridge to make up for it. Many current employees don't even know how to do some of the tasks manually, and certainly not with any sort of efficiency or scale. As we learned with many things during COVID, example, supply chain, maximizing for profit and efficiency makes for very fragile systems. I would hope that we will learn from this as a society and crack down on this kind of monopolization for critical infrastructure. But I fear that we won't learn a damn thing. It's tough to watch. Too big to fail should be too big to exist. The government failed us.